What's going on? This is Yancey, author and producer of the This Is Why series. Make sure you go now and subscribe to my website, www.newfacemanagement.org. This is why you go to college.
This is why you go to college.
Hey yo, this is why you go to college. New Face Entertainment. Always paid my bills.
This is why you go to college.
New Face Entertainment. New Face. New Face. This is why you go to college.
This is why you go to college.
This is why you go to college.
So what's up?
What's up, my guy? Here we go. My man Nick. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the camera. Let them know who you are, man.
What's going on? My name is Nicholas Mitchell. Class of Onyx 7.
Yes.
Man, what a time to be alive. Hampton University. As you can tell, I'm a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, the Beta Gamma chapter as well. Here with my man Yancey, about to talk about the good old years. The good old years.
Cool.
So,
What was your major back at Hampton?
computer information systems. I started out as computer science, but I realized I didn't want to sit behind a desk and just code all the time, so
What are
I
you doing now?
changed. So right now I work for a company called Provident. It's a managed service provider. Think of it as like an external IT company. So if you wanted to start a business, didn't want to pay health insurance for your IT staff, you would call someone like me. We consult, see what we can do for you,
Cool.
and provide services throughout the year, for a flat rate.
Flat rate. All right, so we're down in Atlanta.
Yeah,
All right, but you're originally from?
I'm from Harlem, New York.
Of course.
Big up. So moved out here actually 18 months ago now. Yeah.
Cool. 18 months, huh?
Yeah,
All right, so let's take it back. Let's take it back
Okay.
to the young days, high school days.
High school.
High school. So,
All right.
what made you decide to go to Hampton University? What made you decide to pick a HBCU? How'd that come about?
All right, funny story. So I went to an all-boys, all-white Catholic high school against my choice. It was a great decision because I got a great education, but my mother forced me to go to this high school.
Mm-hmm.
So I applied. When it came college time, I'm like, I want to see people like me.
Right.
I want to see successful people that have my melanin.
Mm-hmm.
So I flipped a coin. It was between, I did like a March Madness type of bracket. So the
It's serious.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it was, the 4 schools were Syracuse University versus Morehouse, and then Washington University in St. Louis versus Hampton. In that first round, Hampton won 3-1.
And what was the scores based off of?
Just heads or tails.
Oh, okay.
Kept it simple.
All right.
And then the final tally at the end, it was Hampton versus Syracuse, and Hampton won 4-2.
Oh.
So I didn't even visit the school; just went down. I was like, "Mom, go to this school."
Can't get more simpler than that.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a
It is.
blessing to be smart because I had options.
Yeah.
So that's why I was able to do that.
That's what's up. All right, so now you're at Hampton, and what do you get when you get to Hampton? What's going on now? You're Onyx 7, which I'm Onyx 6.
Woo!
You know what I'm saying? So you were basically the freshman class to my senior. So go ahead. Let's hear this experience.
So you get that. Like I said, I went to an all boys, all white high school. So you get that basically all girl school. The ratio when I came in was 17-1. Pure heaven for a New Yorker like myself.
Yeah.
But then you also get, educated, that feeling of dopeness. You're just around people that look like you who want to strive and be better. So much rich in tradition, rich in history. And you're like, man, it's good to be around this love.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I picked up on, like as soon as I touched down.
Right.
Yeah, something. I moved into my dorm. My mother, so my dorm director, my freshman year, Mr. Cullen.
Mr. Cullen, Harkness Hall.
Yeah. His daughter worked for my mother.
Mm.
So it was funny because, he was really strict. You don't know Mr. Cullen, but he was very strict.
Mm.
So he was never strict with me because he would always think I was going to try to get his daughter fired. I didn't have that control, but whatever. As long as you're lenient to me, I'm cool, But that was another added bonus because I didn't have. I followed the rules, but I didn't get in trouble if I did break them occasionally.
Cool. All right. So you got your freshman year. Were there any organizations you were a part of your freshman year? Anything you did?
New York pre-alumni.
Yeah.
Coming
I think
from New York.
Sean Washington was the president at
Yeah,
the time?
he was president.
Right.
That's
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
New York pre-alumni. When you're in high school, you do all these clubs so you can get into college, and you don't really see yourself joining any more clubs because you're like, I'm in college now.
Right.
I don't need to fake it. But then you start to see people you might hang out with people that just have a different perspective or a like mind or just something different. So New York pre-alumni, we had like a little fake chess club. It was good to be a New Yorker because you kind of got a little bit of respect. There was some beef going on with some Maryland people, but I wasn't in that. I was a freshman. Definitely enjoyed the camaraderie of the computer science people. Didn't realize how close you would become to people in your major over the test time. But freshman year, New York pre-alumni was the big group I was a part of. And then there was a freshman step show for the dorms, so you hung out with your dorms a lot. So you got cool with your people at your dorm. Like the first person I met at Hampton his name is Max Frederick, and cool cat. So we're still cool to this day. So you form bonds that last forever.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So what was the party scene like for you, the freshman?
First party, first week. You come back before the upperclassmen come back. There's a block party in front of the student center.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, this is popping.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the year, there was like this entertainment group called New Face. Shout out to New Face. And they threw crazy parties. The Legion was a sweatbox, but you wanted to stand in line to go to the Legion. You wanted to get cool with the person, this guy right here that was, hosting the Legion. You just wanted to be in that circle, and then you found out that there was internships, and he had a street team, and everything was crazy. Now that I look back on it, and you're like, I want to be a part of this. This looks like something dope. Then you have Holland Hall, the real sweatbox. Holland was really popping as well. Then you had the cabarets. I was first introduced to a cabaret my freshman year, Williamsburg, Virginia. It was at a hotel.
We got room keys.
Yep. all I remember is hearing about it all first semester. Yo, once y'all get off of curfew, you gotta make sure you come to this cabaret. I'm like, what is a cabaret?
Yeah. Coming from New York, you don't know what a cabaret is.
You don't know what a cab is, so they're like, you just dress up, party, and get it popping. I'm like, okay, I like the way that sounds. And I'll never forget it. I walked in with like 6 of my boys. We got a hotel room. We put it on, my man Little Baby Ron's credit card. His dad killed him, but we were there. And as soon as we walk out the door, we just see like madness in the hallways. The football team, women, beautiful women. That's when I first, I was like, oh, I love this school. That's when I really fell in love with Hampton. To see the level of elegance mixed with the level of ratchet. That was perfect.
Perfect for what you need.
Yeah, perfect for what I wanted to see visually in my life at that time.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about a hot topic that's going on right now, the 12-2.
Okay.
All right, so what's your memory of the 12-2? What do you have from that from freshman year to senior year? What was the 12-2 for you?
Wow. Okay, I've seen, so for me, I feel as though I went to Hampton during the golden years, so.
Absolutely did.
12-2 was unheard of. You're a freshman, so you don't really get the choice of classes. So I had one of my major classes to move forward in computer science was at 1 p.m. My first semester. Awful. But you hear about this 12-2, and then coming from New York, I didn't know much about Greek life. You see people with letters on, and then you're like, what are they doing? They're dancing in a line. Why? But then you see like the organization, the skill set, then you see the women, then you see the madness, the camaraderie. Then you see people just having fun in the middle of the day, 12 noon. As soon as 12 noon hit, it was a party. People were, upperclassmen weren't going to class because they scheduled it perfectly. You now have to finesse the next semester to make sure that you can go. And I saw the evolution. 12 to 2 became craziness. I was there when they, had to shut it down for a week because people were just too intoxicated. I was there. Yeah, it was madness. I was there when the fire marshal was called because there was too many people.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when the 12 to 2 spawned the insomnia party at the student center that night, where it was like we were locked in the student center at midnight or 11 or whatever time,
Mm-hmm.
and it just gave way to just more craziness. Like Hampton, looking back on it, it was popping.
Yeah.
12 to 2 was crazy. The mere fact that you had an outlet or that you were able to just have fun, and it was unadulterated, and everybody respected each other for the most part. People had always gonna have beef, but for the most part, it was excellent. So it was eye opening, but I loved it.
Word.
I loved it.
All right, so now we're going to get on, I guess, on another note,
Yes, ma'am.
just to talk about different aspects of the documentary and the purpose of the documentary. So, we're big on mental health awareness,
Okay.
and depression,
Okay.
within our gender and our race,
Mm-hmm.
African American males, and depression and suicide. So,
Mm-hmm.
do you have anything to say about it? Do you have anything that you want to speak on about that topic?
So it's funny that you brought this up. I actually went to therapy after college, 2 or 3 years after college.
Okay.
My mom, so I grew up in a single parent household. My mom really thought that I was depressed that I didn't have a father. And I'm like,
After college.
After college. Right. I'm like, Mom, do you know what it feels like to hold up $1 million? And she was like, no. And I was like, well, then it's the same thing premise for me. I don't know what it is to have a dad.
Right.
But I was like, you know what? I'll play along. I'll go. You're paying for it, so I'll go. And I realized that there were things that I was battling that I had to deal with. Drinking increased tremendously during that time. I was just unhappy. I was depressed. So the therapy, I think mental health needs to be more of a spoken point, especially for black males, because without that moment of clarity, I don't know if I would be in Atlanta right now. I think I would still be in New York, overspending, over drinking, trying to live up to a standard that I had created in my own head. So the mental health is real. Everyone goes through something, especially. People call it the half-life crisis or midlife crisis.
Yeah.
I call it a quarter life. I think that a lot of people don't realize how much pressure this generation has on themselves, from education, from keeping up with the Joneses, from trying to, especially with social media now, you have to keep up with everyone. And I'm glad I didn't grow up in this time now, because I don't, my depression or whatever I was going through might have been even worse. But yeah, mental health is a critical issue, and I think that everyone, either after college, during college, or I would say during college or after college, there should be programs put in place where someone should be able. It should be a course that you have to talk to someone.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah, I think it should be a course, and I'm not going to say an elective, but it should be, or a requirement, but it should be a course that you should be able to talk to a professional about your mental health. Because so for me, I didn't know what I was going in there to talk about. I literally sat on the couch. I remember it clear as day. I'll never forget it in my life. I sat on the couch. He sat on the couch, introduced himself. I'm like, what's going on, man? He said, what's going on? And I just started bawling, crying. I don't know what caused it. I cried for like 3 minutes.
T.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. He didn't say it like any type of way. He just said, "So what's going on?" And I was like, "Bam."
Right.
So I think mental health is something that, because for black people, for black men, I'm not going to say for black women, I don't know their experience, but I assume for black people that we're meant to be tough.
Right.
We have to be tough. We have no one to talk to about not being tough, because then you look like you're soft. You don't want to be soft, so you just deal with it in your own way. And it might show itself in drinking. It might show itself in smoking weed. It might show itself in having sex with numerous people. So I think that, like I said, I think it should be a course that people should take while they're in college, to go see a specialist or a therapist or to talk to someone.
Cool. All right. So before we wrap it up with those last two questions I told you before, I just wanted to touch on us as friends and the relationship that we had over the years, because a lot of people really don't realize how close you become with somebody after graduation, after you leave Virginia.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, we party together, we make money together. You know what I'm saying? So if you could just give your take on that big New Year's Eve party that we shut down Harlem with.
Yeah.
So yeah, you missed it. I just want to. I don't know why I'm looking this way, but that we shut down Harlem with.
Yeah.
Go ahead. It's, talk about
So,
you came to me with it, so go ahead.
I knew I wanted to throw a party, and in New York, clubs overrated, too much money. You don't have fun, and that's most places, So I was like, I know how to throw a party. I've thrown parties. I can entertain my butt off. So I was just like, yo, Yancey, let's throw a party. And I was like, I'll get the venue.
Right.
Don't worry about that. I'll come up with the deals. Let's throw a party. I need your marketing skills. And, you just was like, if you say you can do this, okay.
Right.
And we threw this party, and it was magnificent.
Magnificent.
Right.
What was it? It was like on the it was way on the west side, Harlem.
It was like,
I remember it was like, all I remember was like underneath the trains.
Yeah.
So it was somewhere by that A train, C train line.
Nah, it was by the 1 train.
It was
Yeah, it was on. It was
on the east side.
No, it was on the west side.
On the west side.
It was on the west side. Yeah, it was on it was on Broadway.
Broadway. That's what it was on Broadway.
I'll never forget it. The place doesn't. So the place made so much money. They bought 2 new TVs, and they rebranded.
Crazy. Off that one party.
Off that one party.
That party was epic. That was a great time.
Marvelous came up from DC.
Marvelous came from DC. I just remember it was like bottles. Like when New Year's Eve hit, it was like we had so many bottles just to give to everybody. Like it was like everyone had their own bottle. That's why like everyone had their own bottle of champagne. Like we had so much to give around.
What was so interesting about that party is that the original goal was to have a 2-hour open bar.
Yeah.
From 10:30 to 12:30, and we're supposed to have a champagne toast at midnight.
Right.
People were so intoxicated, having so much fun, that no one toasted.
There was no toast.
There was no toast.
No.
Midnight hit, and we were just like, ah!
Did you guys tape it? Film it?
Because what year was that? That was like 2009? 2011. Yeah, so I'm saying it was
2012.
Yeah, like that. It was 11 going into 12. Yeah, so
I had pictures of half the night.
that was a great time.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I'm trying to do that again here.
Well, I'm not here, so.
I just literally said that. You need to have a Atlanta chapter.
Right.
I don't know. But all right. So now down to the last 2 questions. We wrap this up.
Yeah.
All right. So the documentary is for high school students, to inspire high school students and college students to not only go to college, to stay in college, and inspire them to do other things besides just go to class. Because there's so many other things to college besides just going to class. So. If somebody was looking to you for advice and wanted to talk to you about going to college, what advice would you give that person to steer them in a direction just to go to college and pick a college?
College is important because, yes, college does provide an education, but it's bigger than that. It provides you the networking skills. It provides you the skills that you need to learn to deal with life. Life is going to be very difficult. It's not going to be the American dream where you go to school, you get a great job, white picket fence, you have a family, You have a 401k, you die, everything's good. No. Like there's a roller coaster. And being in college, you deal with, especially in HBCU, you deal with roller coasters. From red tape and administration to, trying to deal and manage and organize your time for studying versus you partying. And you're going to party. You're going to either have fear of missing out or you're just going to over party. People left freshman year because they couldn't handle it. You can't manage your time. So my biggest advice is when it gets tough, just know you got this, because you don't need to quit. Because you'll be unhappy with yourself if you quit later on in life. You'll look back and say, I had this opportunity and I squandered it. That's my biggest advice. Don't quit. Even if it takes you 10 years to graduate, that's fine. Because it's not, once again, it's not about how long it takes you. It's about you accomplish something. You will always be able to say, I have a degree from XYZ University. Cool.
All right, well, you answered both questions, so we're good to go. Thank you very much, sir.
It was a pleasure,
Appreciate
man.
your time, man.
Yeah.